insta-locks in that Sivir on R5. So a very go-forward composition on both of these sides here. A little bit more kite potentially available to Weibo, with the slight elements of disengage that come from On the Hunt, come from Scatter the Weak, the ability for Alistar to be able to disengage as well. His presence felt in the mid lane. Xiaohu just TP'd back in.
Yeah, Xiaohu in a little bit of danger here. Keeps that trade up against Haichao going, but Juhan is deep behind enemy lines, and Xiaohu just says, I got no good options left, man. I'm going underneath this turret. First blood to Juhan and OMG. Not to be trifled with in this early stage, still fully capable of executing on these early game plans if you give them a little too many opportunities.
Spotted
JJ wants
on
to
a
make
ward
this
here,
dive
Gordo,
happen.
I think they know.
Yeah, they're getting underneath here. Double knockup is going to get found by Erha. They are going to try their best to get the first 2 kills, but it is going to be a double back over to Starry. The numbers advantage on the bottom side, going to be starting up this dragon while a big wave crashes into bottom. Zika going to be able to get here and pick up most of them, but this is going to be first dragon going the way of OMG, who already have themselves the feat of warfare. It's not a bad start here for them by any means, and kind of some unforced errors from WBG, really.
With the help of Spellbook TP from Moham here, maybe a little bit of fighting over this Pixel.
Root coming in onto Erha, but Elk is there at his back. It's just a full-on 2v2 between the bot lanes, but Erha, the one with much lower health, going to be forced to expend that flash to get out to a safe range as they exchange blows on their respective wards. And the end result is a recall from Erha. Elk going to have to spell shield that Zenith Blade, but Moham's not done with them. Steps forward for the stun. Starry trading forward.
6.
Bullet time comes out, and Starry picks up the kill. OMG!
But for OMG, I feel like they're the ones who have got a real emphasis on making this game happen and happen quickly, because as they reach that late game, the damage that comes from a misfortune, much more situational. From an Orianna, maybe you could argue actually does well, but we see a lot of posturing around these grubs right now. Again, if Weibo can steal these away, it stops the snowball of OMG.
Yeah, Weibo should be able to get themselves the full cleanup here. Already have 2, and Juhan feeling plenty threatened as he looks for an opportunity to get in here and snag away the 3rd. Erha would have punted him far away from it if he even gave a thought towards that grub. But now Moham coming in from the bottom side. They want this fight. Crescent Guard going to come land onto all 3. They're going to look for the lockdown onto Erha. Unbreakable Will might be able to keep him standing for a little bit longer, but JJ going to have to chuck on out that display of talent, and it won't be enough to stop the advancing OMG squad. They pick themselves up a 5th kill, 4 of them onto Starry.
Super early on, you can see the items already completely out of a different league right here, as Elk is so far behind the curve.
Now play in the mid on towards Juhan, going to jump in onto him. Shockwave connects onto 2, but Haichao's out of mana.
Across the board here as well, with Juhan having completed that first item as well. OMG actually very strong and in a very good position to try and take this fight. You can also see that really the strong points of OMG and the strong points of Weibo aren't necessarily at this point in the fight, right? With Xiaohu on this top side, he's not getting to spend that large amount of gold in a skirmish. He's actually just trying to farm up against Harry and maybe try and force him a little bit lower.
Well, Unleashed Power comes through on towards Harry, but able to absorb it without too much trouble. Still no completed items onto Xiaohu's Syndra, but JJ coming in here to try to finish the job. Harry flashes away from Supreme Display of Talent, but Erha in deep behind enemy lines gets himself in there to CC up the Gnar and gives JJ that kill. But JJ
good
to flash out to
catch!
safety. A catch from Moham on the Solar Flare to guarantee the trade. Kill credit going towards Moham. Maybe not where you would prefer it, but happy to make a 1-for-1 nonetheless. Rift Herald fight, JJ lurking around in the shadows as well, trying to find a pathway in through that Tri-Brush, but they are going to try to send it on towards Xiaohu. Moham connects the Zenith Blade. Xiaohu not going to be able to get the flash off in time. Solar Flare connects. The full 3-man squad collapses, and Xiaohu's the first one to fall. Starry now going to get targeted on the opposite side, but does manage to flash back in time. A TP in from Zika, but he's immediately got to try to head for the hills. Not stacked up on the passive quite yet, and so won't get that res. And it's a 5 versus 4 regardless. Zeka turning it back in, does stack it up, starts to regen back up, but just doesn't have the backup of the rest of his team. He might just end up falling a second time. It's all 5 members of OMG await and collapse. OMG with another fight win off that pick onto Xiaohu.
Yeah, great picks here. The solo laners from Weibo throwing away their lead, and now they're looking for more. Another Zenith Blade.
As Erha is going to get locked down. Harry into the back line, gnars him into the wall. Elk pushed further back away, and it's now just Elk and JJ. But Xiaohu returns to the fight. WBG not willing to give this one up yet. Unleash power on a Starry will give a kill back over to Elk. And OMG still plenty happy with the gold they've accrued and the objectives they get to boot.
The best spot overall.
JJ spotted, sneaks his way out of there. Does have plenty of dashes in the kit. And this should be a turret going the way of Xiaohu as well, as there's nobody willing to get in there and actually tussle with them, especially not with JJ.
In terms of that fight, you'd think they're up in gold, but we take a look at the top of our screen here, Gordo. Weibo actually finding more and more advantages. That turret that went to Xiaohu gives him a really good spot. Engage!
No, Moham maybe up a little far this time as the engage was on to Erha, who does have the unbreakable will. Gonna find himself in a much healthier state. JJ finds a pathway in onto Juhan, and everybody's on top of him, but look at that shockwave pulling two back into the bullet time, and the focus coming through onto Xiaohu now. He falls, as does Erha. A 2-0 lead in the fight for OMG. Harry gets Zika back into the rest of the team with a big gnar, and Zika will be executed before the Grim Deliverance can come back on up. It's 3 kills to OMG.
And another fight goes the way of our underdogs here in game number 1, Gordo. They are battling with everything that they have got, finding themselves another fight win. And it's again, these solo laners of Weibo that aren't quite able to find access to Starry. You can see this misfortune, 8-9 now, 2-0.
Soul will do a lot to mitigate some of that scaling advantage from Weibo, and I don't know how much longer Weibo can keep losing fights like this, as Moham looking in on the flank once again, not able to find the path onto Xiaohu this time. Unleash power comes on through. No. Redemption nearly bails him out, but Elk is able to finish him with one more boomerang blade.
Yeah, let's look at the map though. Again, it's Weibo finding that advantage in the mid lane and now actually looking to try and take a turret. Hi Chow, he's going to be really isolated here if Zika gets it. Turret falls, but not quite able to find anything else. Bullet time to try and clear a wave, and OMG is scrambling.
Erha going to throw Starry right back into Xiaohu's waiting arms, but Xiaohu's been tanking turret the entire time, and he'll be solo killed by it. Now Juhan looking to move forward, already has been able to take down JJ, and next up on the menu is going to be Erha. It's a triple kill to Starry. 12-2-1 on this misfortune against Weibo.
So they are going to be looking to take so much. I wonder if OMG may be biting off a little bit too much here.
Keeping that push going. Nobody going to be able to respond to them on Otacon. Harry just has to keep his wits about him as he tries to get a little more damage into this mid lane turret. He's going to face tank it. He really wants that thing down. He'll think better of it after taking a shot or two. But all in all, I mean, OMG, as long as they get responsible with their recall timers here, they're going to walk away with pretty much everything.
No Infinity Edge on the Sivir just yet, which not really something that you would look towards as a PowerPoint. It's not going to be there for another, we'll say 5, 7, 8 minutes or so. So Elk, not even at that critical mass Sivir point.
An ultimate down for OMG. Hai Chow not going to be able to bring that one into the table. Harry, though, able to stack up the rage. Looking to come in here on the Mega Gnar, find a big ult into the wall and set up for Moham. Moham looks for the Zenith Blade, not quite going to be able to find it. Elk returns damage with a bit of a boomerang blade. Zika now looking for the engage angle. Bullet time comes through and finishes off JJ, but he was able to smite off the dragon first and foremost. Now Zika trying to fight his way out on the other side. Goes in with the Grim Deliverance, but can't get enough stacks to res himself up with the Cultivation of War. Hai Chow now coming in on the side, looking for another shot with the ball. Still doesn't have that shockwave, but has enough damage to work through Era's health bar. It's a fight win for OMG, but Weibo did steal away the dragon. Yeah, JJ coming out of the base, but he's too far away. They should be able to finish this one in time with the full force of OMG working through the worm. JJ making a beeline for it, just can't get there in time, was still in the red buff.
Job. Syndra as well, just pulling in that minion, deciding, actually, I'm going to make it come with me, but Starry decides to face tank it. Is Juhan too far?
Or is JJ too far? Juhan just solo kills him. Mano y mano right in Weibo's face. Zika trying to pull him back, trying to make something happen.
Not having that might be a little bit problematic here as they try and siege this tier 2 turret, but the extra member is going to mean that this is all too easy, and Harry threatening with that mega is just again going to secure another turret without that.
But find a way in.
He's really weak if he doesn't have that unbreakable will. You can see Zika, you can see Xiaohu on the side lines here. They're trying to find this unique angle in, but they're just playing Ring Around the Rosie.
Xiaohu comes in.
Oh, the fight!
Scout of the week into a big ultimate out of JJ to hold 3 members down, but the damage
Smite
still
fight.
not quite there yet. Smite
Soul.
comes through. It's the soul secured for Juhan, but what about the fight on the back end? Elk still pretty much untouched, firing out the boomerang blades. They're able to kite away from the bullet time, and a stun over the wall from Xiaohu will put a stop to that. Elk flashes forward. Elk gets the boomerang blades. 2 kills already down. Hai Chao's the last one standing, and they're going to advance forward to see if they can complete this. A Scout of the week not quite going to connect. JJ too low. Elk still under pressure as well in this Ocean Soul.
Something like that happen again. Spotted on a pink as OMG start this up, but they're looking bot side here. Harry, they've got double TPs to try and make this work.
They can't interrupt it, or can they? Xiaohu connects the Scatter of the week, but this 2-man squad, they've got to kill Harry, and they've got to get the hell out of here because this Baron is dropping lower and lower. 3k HP.
JJ's
JJ
in.
over the wall. Supreme display of talent. Not able to find the smite. Juhan secures it once again, and JJ going to fall for his efforts. Elk was picked off on the opposite side. It's a numbers advantage for OMG with Baron and Ocean Soul.
Yeah, they lose one bot side, but are happy to take that trade. The communication from Weibo there was to try and make a quick pick down on bot side and then transition that into a double TP play to contest. They weren't able to do it, and now with a 4v3 in their base, OMG are looking to end the game.
Yeah, they're going to see if they can close this one out, and they very well might be able to as long as they keep this numbers
MF
advantage.
destroys
20
these
seconds
turrets.
to go on Elk. Juhan taking a fair bit of damage. Hai Chao able to finish off one of the towers, and Starry just works through these things so dang fast. And they just don't have the range, they don't have the poke, they don't have Elk's damage, and they are feeling his absence. Erha's one shot. Zika pushed back. Xiaohu hiding out in the fountain. Hai Chao not able to finish him off. Elk is here now, but the Nexus is dropping too fast. OMG! Take game number 1 up against Weibo.
On to him with Harry diving in, Juhan and Hai Chao being able to do so as well. That does mean that I'm slightly worried for Starry here, as he's going to have to try and work doubly hard to keep himself safe by the rest of everybody involved. But focusing back in on the game itself here, taking a look. Well, maybe not actually. Flash knockup from Harry. Chom. Oh, Hai Chao. Okay, Xiaohu's dead.
Yep, there's a flash in from Harry, and you know, Xiaohu, it's not been his night.
Couple of camps. They managed to force the Yunara back to base, and whether or not Starry goes up to contribute to this dragon, we will wait and see. But Hai Chao.
Hai Chao just reads where Zeka's going to be, heads over there from mid. Zeka flashes away, but Hai Chao's still got one more cast of Spirit Rush. Zeka pulls him back underneath the turrets, but this feels like it's just delaying the inevitable. Hai Chao, though, solo on mana. Zeka healing back up. Xiaohu's here to back him up. Zeka fights his way out. Are you kidding me?
Ah, yes. Fabled Cassante moment. He was 1 HP the entire time and just vamped his way through. And you can see that Bramble in the inventory just adds a little bit of a layer to how Harry needs to play this now. It means that after they've taken the trades, he's going to need to wait a couple of seconds before he can burrow. Actually, exhaust bot.
Elk getting engaged on, and Starry will be able to finish him off. Red and white.
It looks like one of them is picked up by Juhan before he quickly hops over the wall. I mean, my question for that bot lane play is, how on earth is Elk ever in range to be engaged on by Moham, who doesn't have Hex Flash?
Up your traditional marksman items. Get to take a little stop off there and be a little bit of a burst mage.
Juhan's mid.
Juhan coming in on a play on towards Xiaohu. Really great use of the charm there. Punishes the phase rush by forcing him even deeper into Hai Chao's face, but they're still not able to finish the job. Goes in for a hook, connects it onto the wall. Gonna regret that pretty quickly here, as now everybody gets to work onto Era, and OMG get their 3rd kill in a row.
OMG once again finding themselves with this slight advantage through the early game. This is now a 2nd dragon that they're able to pick up for themselves, and unlike in game number 1.
Now Xiaohu and Elk both arriving for this Rift Herald to try to work it through. Remember, those ultimates still down for OMG, but they still seem to want to be able to get their names on here. And the smite fight's won by Juhan. He has won so many of these this game, but not able to get over to the eye and pick it up. OMG might have to just give this one up and say, all right, we're going to call the Rift Herald a tie.
Still just level 10. If we see a fight around this dragon that's spawning in 7 seconds time, those 2 ultis could be a big difference.
Depth charge onto Juhan, isolated away from the rest of the team. In goes JJ, trying to execute him. He does his best to fight back, though. Gets the Cyclone off, flashes out to safety. Second Cyclone to create more space. Moham's already dropped down. Zika TP's in to finish the jungler. And Weibo claimed 2 quick kills, but Starry left alone to claim a tower in mid.
Yeah, it's just a numbers disadvantage there, and actually OMG find themselves sniffing around for Weibo. Are they going to fancy to take this? Starry still has ulti, so does Haichao.
Yeah,
to imagine
they
they
can't
give
get
this.
anybody else in here. Harry can't TP because he's in Zeka's face.
Got as much power as possible moving into these team fights, and then look to see if they want to take a skirmish after the fact. And maybe they can find a couple of items, especially if Haichao or Juhan can finish up their second item as well. Teleport available, so he can TP back up to answer anything that happens in the top lane if Harry doesn't make his way down here. But again, it's OMG who are playing a little bit with death here on the bot side.
Yeah, the hook comes in. It's Moham who's going to be the target to get engaged on. They're
Charm
going to do
misses.
their best to try to get him out of here, but he will be executed by Zika. Goes into the backline with the all-out. Juhan on top of him now. Haichao looking for a taunt, not quite going to be able to find it, and they will choose to back away, knowing that they're still at a numbers disadvantage. So another quick pick for Weibo gives them the numbers advantage on the map and lets them start off this Otacon.
Still have all 4 ults available, though, for OMG, and they might try to contest this, especially with Otacon ripping through those resists. TP into the face of Starry. This is Zika joining into the fight. 7k now on the Otacon.
Yeah, doesn't have the all-out, but does have the still tanky Cassante. Harry looking for a path to tunnel on in, find these knockups, and get this fight started. They're going to go on to Zhao, who does flash back away. Juhan looking for a pathway in, but going to have to use the clone to back on away. Pumps
2K.
that Cyclone now, spinning his way through Erha and Zika. Erha falls down first. Smite comes through. They will be able to secure the Otacon, but what about the fight on the backside? JJ was able to get the big objective, but
no, Juhan
with his life. Juhan over the wall, flashes right back over as he finds the turret, still ready and waiting for him. And the rest of Weibo will get away. They lose 2 members, but they secure the Otacon for it.
Yeah, it depends what else they lose off the back of this. Still 24 seconds on Zika's death timer.
Risk. There's a deep flank being set up here for Harry. He's deep behind enemy lines, burrowing underground, and the fight going to break out. It's on to Moham. He has to use the Magnet Storm. Pretty much gets one shot, but Juhan now in the back line, cycloning through everybody. Down goes Elk and Erha. Next up is JJ. Zika has to pop the ultimate to get in onto the back line, trying to finish off Starry. Will be able to do so, but now Zhao getting worked through by the rest of the squad. Eyes on Haichao. One more Spirit Rush to dash back away. Needs just a bit more damage. Will get another reset, and Zika is the last one standing and still brawling with Harry. But Harry going to be able to jump back away. It is a 4-4-3 team fight.
Actually find and engage. He's been getting picked. He's not really been looking for these fights. He's just been getting caught and then re-engaging off the back of that.
Oh, nearly gets caught again, but this time he's able to evade it, and it's Harry into the back line. Knockup found onto JJ. Starry coming in to try to pump out the damage. JJ going to be forced to flash away. Erha going to be the first one to fall down in the fight. Zika already popping the ultimate, and it's not onto Starry this time.
Oh, it's a wipe.
Starry just pinging away from the back line will cut down 3 for a clean ace to OMG.
And it's just impeccable from OMG. They're playing with their HP bars exquisitely and make sure that nobody falls. They take down every single member of Weibo. And this Aphelios, the OMG AD carry who they kept from 2025 into 2026, is paying off again. Whether it's Haichao diving into the backline, whether it's Starry standing strong in the back, OMG have got themselves a consistent roster of carries who are making Weibo pay.
And OMG 3-0.
Hopping over the Dragon Wall and causing Elk and Xiaohu a ton of problems. Really solid stuff from the solo laners of the group.
I mean, too much action to really get to talk about the fight before last, but such an impressive couple of fights from Haichao here. I think a player that's been largely disrespected after the last couple of splits of play. Really showing up against Xiaohu in today's series, and they're looking to crack open the base now. TP being channeled, but they're going to just look for the engage. Erha's one shot, now a TP coming in from Zika right into the middle of the waiting arms of OMG. They claim another, a massive Moonlight Vigil from Starry will claim 2 more. He executes JJ. It's another clean ace. Back-to-back dominant team fights from OMG will end this series 2-0.
dominant team fight, dominant game, dominant series.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.